Man, I love roundabouts. Hey, what is going on, you guys? I thought that I'd do a video on cornering a motorcycle. You know, because a lot of people tend to get confused on how you steer a motorcycle, and I actually get this question a lot when people stop. They're like, so how does counter steering work? Well, at speed I can actually show you. So say that I want to go left. What you want to do is you want to push on the left handlebar, and watch what my bike does. See that? And that wasn't hard. Push on the right handlebar if I want to go right. See what the bike does, see? Oh, it's bloody hot here. Now watch me come in here. I'll counter steer. Now, counter steering, if you pull back, your bike will actually go to the left. But it's a really jerky motion. If you push, it'll go to the left. If you push, it'll go to the right. If you pull on the right bar, it'll go to the left, but the bike like twists, it turns, and it jerks you. And you can actually throw your back out. A lot of people, when they start turning a motorcycle, they pull the handlebars like that. You don't do that. Now, the handlebars are just a very small part of the actual steering of a motorcycle. So yes, you do use the handlebars to obviously turn the motorcycle, but that is used in conjunction with other things. Another thing you can do is if I'll push down on my right peg right now. See the bike starting to turn, push down on the left peg. So the bike's starting to turn, and I'm not even moving the handlebars at all. You can also maneuver the bike via your foot pegs as well. At slow speed, the counter steering becomes less. You don't have to really counter steer. You can almost turn the handlebars normally, so you just pull back on one bar and you will just turn. But what you will need to do is you need to tuck your legs into the tank, because you want your center of gravity up. You want to be like upright, you want to look to where you want to go, and you want to turn. This is what you get taught in your test, like all the slow riding sort of stuff. And you use your control with the rear brake. You don't really want to use the front brake going at slow speed, because you can just do a real slow speed washout by the front end. That's pretty common. I see that a lot. When you start getting quicker and quicker and quicker on a motorcycle, like even here, I don't really need to do knee down or really get too much off the bike to get it turned. I can just turn the bike like that, you know, just slightly lean, look where I want to go, and the bike will turn. But the faster you start going and the more sharp the turns, the more you need to get off the bike, because you need to use your body as the pivot. That is how you anchor the bike to get it turned. So on top of counter steering, you want to be off the bike and you want to put your knee out. Now, you will notice this the quicker you go. The quicker you go, the harder it is to turn a motorcycle, especially with the G-forces and stuff. So it becomes quite difficult to get that bike turned in exactly where you wanted to go. If you sat upright with your knees into the tank and tried to use the bars, the chances are you're going to do a very wide turn, and you won't hit the apex or anything along those lines, and the corner would be very fucking sketch. Like you're just entering in there. I call those riders who ride like that, which is all fine, good and well. Like everyone rides like that when they first start out because they're nervous on the bike, but I call them RC riders. Oh, what about McLaren? I call them like the RC, the radio control rider, because you know, like the RC rider that you had as a kid. It was a little motorbike and it was remote controlled and stuff, and the rider just sits there constantly in that one position. That's what I call those guys. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just learning, and they're just, you know, they get the confidence and everything. They understand their bike more, and then they can get more and more off it. They can lean it more and they feel more comfortable. As you start picking up the pace, you will notice that you will need to do a lot more with your body to get that bike where you want it to go. What I'll do is I'll sit behind him and I'll show you what he does when he comes through, because this is a good example, because I can only show you so much via this camera and via my helmet cam. what the best way to do is you actually follow behind another rider and you watch how they corner. Now all bikes are different. He has to work a little bit harder than what I do to get his bike turned because the bike weight's different, and like tyres, road conditions, everything comes into it when you're talking about cornering. But I'm just talking about the basic fundamental skills of cornering a motorcycle, because it is some things that people, it's the more the counter steering they can't really get their head around. So here we go, I'll get close to him. See, look at him. Did you see how he went through that corner? I obviously didn't, because I was looking at where I was going, so that's why I'm asking you guys, did you see? When it comes to steering the motorcycle, it's not technical, it's not necessarily hard, but you got to remember, it's not always in the handlebars, it's not your arms. You got to remember to stay loose too. On a road bike, you can be really loose. Like as you can see here, I'm like one hand on the freeway. Imagine how many comments I'm going to get. That fucking idiot, he should have his hands on the controls all the time. What the fuck is he doing? He's going 100 kilometers an hour and he's goddamn waving his arms around like a fucking wanker. Yeah, a lot can happen in this time, but you've got to be loose. You should be able to release your hands from the handlebars at any moment on a motorcycle. When it comes to dirt bike riding, that's different because the bike's trying to get reefed from your hands all the time, so you do need to ride differently, and even cornering on a dirt bike's different to a road bike. But it's not technical and it's not really hard. What you will notice is when you actually turn a bike, it will naturally counter steer for you. Just don't fight the handlebars. It's not like a car where you actually need to turn the steering wheel in order to turn that way. With the motorbike, you actually push the handlebars forward and it doesn't. At low speed, like what I said, your body position changes, and you can actually, at low speed, you can just push down on your pegs to take a corner. Normally, if I'm really on it and I'm pushing it hard and I need to get the bike turned, I'll push down on the peg as I go. So I'll trail, so I'll get up and I'll get up over the tank and I'll get over the handlebars and I'll get really aggressive on the bike. And what I'll do is I'll push down on the peg and counter steer at the same time. So I'll push forward on the bar and I'll push down on the peg. That tips the bike in. I'm normally trailing the rear brake. I'll normally trail the rear brake into a corner, and sometimes I trail the front depending on how hard I'm going to come into that corner. And then I'll dip it in and away I go. Then you go to getting knee down, and you can get elbow down and stuff when you get really, really skilled. Would I do elbow down on the street? Probably not. It's because when you're elbow down, you are so committed in what you were doing, because to get back from that, you need more time to pick the bike back up. It's all about time, distance, speed, grip, road conditions. You know, it's so much comes into it, man. Like when you come to counter steering, and I know people tried to explain it to me when I was first getting into riding bikes years ago, how it all works, but it just does it itself. So you don't need to really freak out about it. It happens sort of naturally, and you'll just naturally do it. Just don't fight the bike, just flow with it. But just look at where you want to go, you do the inputs, but just flow with the bike, man. But counter steering in a nutshell though, just remember, you want to go left, push forward on the left bar. You want to go right, push forward on the right bar. Handlebar, right, left, right, left, right. And see how quick the bike just tips and turns? But you try and pull it, right? You try and pull. If you pull back, you actually pull back on the left bar, the bike will dart right. So don't try and pull back, you'll crash, because you're not expecting the bike to go that direction, because you're expecting it to go the other way. A lot of people will pull back on the right bar, they'll pull back on the opposite bar when they want to turn that way, especially when they first start out riding. For some reason, I was guilty of doing that. I used to do that. But then I realized that it's a lot easier to push on the bar, and you get told that when you do your tests and stuff, to actually do that, to push forward on the bar, and it's a lot easier, man. It's a lot less stress on your body. You spend a day on the twisties and you're pulling you're pulling that bar back towards you all the time, your lats and back will be sore as shit. It's all about being smooth and comfortable. So if you do have any questions about it, guys, feel free to shoot it in the comment section, dude. I'm more than happy to try and answer your questions. But there's heaps of videos out there on how to do this, how to counter steer on a motorcycle, how to do all this sort of stuff, and just keep doing your research.